Today, my sinners, I am very excited because guess what? I'm talking about Cyberpunk 2077. That's right. If you don't know, Cyberpunk 2077 is pretty much the game that has taken the world. How's it going? Welcome back, my beautiful sinners, to another great and amazing video here on The Savior Show. That's right, today I am very excited, my sinners, because, yes, that's right, I'm talking about the wonderful, the majestical Cyberpunk 2077. If you don't know, this game has pretty much become the biggest game of all time, and it's taken the internet by its, I don't know, it's just completely memorized and just shocked the whole entire world, it seems, and everyone is obsessed with Cyberpunk 2077. And today, my sinners, I'm going to be talking about why people are saying that Cyberpunk 2077 sucks, why people think Cyberpunk 2077 is a disappointment, and Cyberpunk 2077 is pretty much the game that has caused so much just controversy in the last couple of days since its release. Because, yes, that's right, if you're not aware, Cyberpunk 2077 is very buggy at the moment. It did have a lot of issues at launch on, the consoles like the PS4 and the Xbox, the older generation, not the newer generation, and most people, funny enough, are still playing on the older generation. It is pretty much just non-functioning, okay? It's just terrible. It's got terrible FPS, and it's just buggy, completely worse than the PC version. Luckily, I have been playing it on the PC, and I am going to give you my honest review for Cyberpunk 2077 very, very soon, because unlike scumbags out there on YouTube who, it's not just, YouTubers, there's tons of them, there's tons of people who are doing it, mainstream game journalists are doing this. They're releasing reviews of Cyberpunk 2077 when they haven't even played the game. That's right, they haven't even played the game and they're doing a review, and that really does make me sick. It just shows you how clickbaity and how disgusting journalism has become. It's not just news, it's not just, politics, it's gaming as well. It's just completely just rife with, these clickbaity journalists where they don't care about integrity anymore. They just do it because they want the hot topic, they want the views and all that stuff, and it really does make me sad. But yes, today I'm going to be talking about why Cyberpunk 2077 is a disappointment, why people think Cyberpunk 2077 sucks, and why it's getting such a negative response from the gaming community. And I just find it very interesting because I don't want to give you my full review now because I've been playing this non-stop for the last 3 days, and yes, the first time I booted it up, I was very disappointed. I felt, like, after I turned off my computer that night, I realized that, hey, this really didn't live up to my hype, and I was just very disappointed with it because it would just ran very badly. It was really, buggy and unoptimized, but then they did release a new patch, and that solved all my problems, for me anyway. I still get, a few bugs now and then, but the performance and the graphics and everything like that ran smoothly, and I could actually finally get immersed in the actual game. And to me, this game is amazing, okay? It's absolutely amazing. I love Cyberpunk 2077 so much. I just love Cyberpunk 2077. I just think it's a great game because of simply the fact that it just immerses you in the world. And I'm going to go more into detail in my review, obviously, but, I haven't been this immersed in a game since Fallout New Vegas, and I really don't think people are giving it enough credit. In fact, for some reason, there's this weird witch hunt out there for Cyberpunk 2077. There's this weird subgroup of people, and it seems like there's a lot of them, who are just completely after Cyberpunk 2077, who hate Cyberpunk 2077 so much, saying that it's the worst game ever, saying that they need refunds. And I understand if it's not running correctly and it's unoptimized for the consoles and stuff, that's fair enough, but calling it a bad game, saying that it's absolute trash, is just not true, because if you actually play it and you get it running right and you actually get it running correctly, obviously that's nobody's fault if it doesn't run well on your system. But the actual game that is there, underneath all the bugs, underneath all the bad frame rates and all that stuff, underneath, some of the problems, it is a great game. It's just because people have hyped it up to a massive proportion where it's never going to live up to anyone's expectations. for some reason people thought that this game was going to change, how we perceive games for the future. This is going to be the next gen of next gen, but it is just another game. But it's done so well, and the immersion and the voice acting, and when you're immersed in these characters, I've just never experienced anything like it. And to me, I don't think people are giving it enough credit, and for some reason there's this really crazy witch hunt out there, and just on YouTube and the YouTube community as well. If you type in Cyberpunk 2077, you will see that there's so many people who just hate Cyberpunk 2077 and are saying that Cyberpunk 2077 is a huge disappointment and it wasn't worth it and it doesn't live up to their expectations, and that it's just complete trash, it's not a good game, and that they just think that Cyberpunk 2077 sucks. And to me that's really sad, because first of all, that's not true. If you actually get it working, that is just not true. Just from a normal perspective, a gamer's perspective, not from a journalist's perspective where they have an agenda, just from a standpoint of how games are made, and just from subjective or objective, I should say. I'm not sure which one, because I'm absolutely stupid as hell. Just from an objective standpoint, if you look at Cyberpunk 2077, I don't see how you can say that Cyberpunk 2077 is a bad game, because it's not. If you look at the world building, if you look at what they've done with the characters and all the systems in place, it's just not true. And I just don't understand why there's a massive hate mob for Cyberpunk 2077 and why gamers hate Cyberpunk 2077 so much. I've really tried to look into it, and I understand that there are issues, and that is understandable, but it seems it's deeper than that, because something gets blown up massively, and there's so much hype around it, there's so much popularity behind it, then obviously there becomes a huge there just becomes a huge mob mentality for hating something just because it's popular and just because it's got a few issues. And it's just very weird. It's just like, people don't really want to be happy. They want something to complain about. They, are never satisfied with anything anymore in the modern generation. And they're just using Cyberpunk 2077 also as a huge, kind of backlash, because of, all these progressive reviewers who hate the game because it's a little bit edgy, because it's a little bit too adult. That's the whole point of this game. And I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people are missing the point, so I just wanted to talk about it, and I just want to hear your opinions down below in the comments. Do you think that this mob hunt and this massive hate group for Cyberpunk 2077 is, justified, or do you think that this is just some kind of weird, I don't know, just mob mentality because people were too excited for the game and overhyped, and they just got their hopes, completely bent because they had this idea that this was going to be like some kind of magical fairy dream that was going to, whisk them away from the harsh realities of the current dystopia that we live in. And they just thought that this is going to change everything, and it's not even going to be like a game, it's going to be like a completely simulated world where you could interact with everyone. No, okay, this is an RPG, it's not like Bethesda where you can interact with every NPC, but the characters and the world building and everything about this is amazing to me, and I'm going to tell you why in my review coming soon. I just wanted to talk about the weird hate group towards Cyberpunk 2077, why there's such a backlash, why so many people hate the game, and why I think that is. And yeah, just let me know your opinions down below in the comments, my sinners, and I look forward to giving you my review, a real review, not a fake review of Cyberpunk 2077, and I'll see you in the next video. Have yourselves a blessed day, and peace out. Much love, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.